welcome back to the GGWP podcast where I show up again.
What episode
Sometimes.
number is it?
25.
What's
What
the
date is it?
November 8th.
No, what
that
day is it
right?
airing? It's not the 8th.
Oh,
Yes.
Sunday, November 9th.
You literally have to count
Sunday.
I might upload on the Saturday.
Sunday.
It depends if we can edit it in time. Well, hello everybody, welcome. I don't know where to go from now. Do I intro again? You already
Yeah,
heard the
'cause that was-
intro. You
Where do
already
we
heard
go
the
now?
intro. I'm like,
well, I'm demonetized straight away.
oh great, amazing.
I need to stop singing.
Speaking of demonetization, I got the feedback from Capcom. They released the copyright strike against our 2-hour-long podcast. So thank you, Capcom. I appreciate
What
it.
was it against? I don't know.
We used
He had some
about
game footage.
13 seconds of Resident Evil game footage in one of the podcast episodes. What's really interesting though is that the footage was from, I think, GameSpot, and I credited GameSpot. So rather than GameSpot copyright striking me, Capcom copyright striked my footage of GameSpot.
Interesting.
Very interesting. But they released it, it's fine. They actually got back within the 30 days as well, so I appreciate that. But yeah, we are here, we are back, we are all together again. We hung out yesterday and everything. We did a live stream, which
We
was
did.
lovely. I guess we can talk about that in what we've been playing this week. But Elliott, kick us off. What we've been playing this week? What have you been doing, man?
Yeah, I played some Dead by Daylight yesterday.
Oh, who did you play that with?
I don't remember. I was dead most of the time.
You were dead most of the
I haven't
time.
played that game in so long. I literally only play Survivor if the three of us are playing, really.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't do well, but I did make a nurse rage quit, so
That
I
was
can't be
so
that bad.
funny. That was so funny. So we literally all just got together last night and we're like, hey, we've not hung out for a while. Let's play some games and stream it and stuff. You can find the VOD on Elliott's channel, or you can find my perspective on the YouTube channel. So whichever one you want to check out, if you want to check it out. But we hung out, we played some Dead by Daylight, and yeah, we had a nurse who wasn't that great. And in the first chase, she DC'd because Elliott was just too good for her, which was really surprising because let's be fair, Elliott wasn't the greatest.
This is what's so funny about it. Is like, can you imagine if she'd been like chasing you? Like,
yeah.
no, she was chasing the idiot round, and I
Yeah.
just was like, oh, she's just full charge blinking every time. So every time I heard the blink go off, I just ran back at her.
That's
overshot it,
honestly
like,
one of
every single
the
time.
best strategies against new nurses is because they don't know how to deal with it. But we made her rage quit. Well, you made her rage quit, and then what was her name, Elliott? What was the nurse's name?
Oh,
Can
you remember?
It was DBD
No.
is Dom.
Yeah.
DBD is Dom. But no, that was pretty fun.
The moment I made a rage quit was my favorite bit ever because I dropped a pallet wrong. She blinked over the pallet, and then I slow vaulted over the pallet at her. But she accidentally had already activated a blink and blinked away, so I just ran off. And then I dodged another blink straight after that, and she just DC'd. I was like, oh, okay.
She clearly didn't know how to play the new nurse. But yeah, that was good. It was good to play DVD with you guys again. It's like the old days. We didn't do too great last night. We were getting killed quite a bit. We did all right. We did okay.
I think I got out like
We did
twice.
awful.
No, we held our own. We got a lot of gens done. There was no I think it was
can-
like maybe one time where we did really badly. The rest of the time we were getting gens on and stuff. It was all
I
right.
completed like 5 or 6 archive missions, which is all I was really aiming for, like blood points and archive stuff. Like,
Right.
Yeah,
so I got a lot of that done. So I'm kind of fine with it.
that's fair. So you've been playing anything
sound-
else?
Well, they still have Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were
The
you
event.
playing?
The event is still going.
How long does Halloween go on for?
Well, they released it late. They were released it like the day before Halloween or something. It's like a week late, so I think they extended it.
Oh,
Hmm.
fair enough. But yeah, I've been streaming Code Vein, some more Weeb Souls.
Go, that's a Souls like.
It is a
What
Souls.
have we told you about Souls likes, Elliott?
Well, I mean, it's a lot easier than the other ones.
Yeah.
Every time I've spoken to anyone about it that's played Souls like before but hasn't played Code Vein, I've basically said like the combat feels very Bloodborne. Like it's quite quick. You still have the iframes on your dodge rolls and things like that, but it is. You have like a partner with you, and a lot of the people I've spoken to have been like, "I'm going to play it without a partner because the partners make it too easy." And I was like, "I'm just going to play with the partner because I want to experience the game, not necessarily." Like I've done enough Dark Souls games now.
Yeah.
I'm not sat there being like, haha, look at this giant challenge. I'm just like, oh, let's play some more Souls likes because they're fun. Like,
Yeah.
But yeah, the bosses, like, you can kind of eat through them a little bit. I died so many. There was an ice level, and I died so many times to just falling through the floor. Like
Yeah.
there'd be bits of ice, and if you step on it, it just collapses. And there was just a lot of deaths to that, and I was like, yeah, I don't like this area anymore. I want to be not here any. Like, I'm done with it.
I mean,
But we got through it.
switching over to the scene so we can show off some of the code vein. I plan to play it eventually. As you saying, it's being a less difficult Souls-like. It's probably going to be the one that I jump into, to be honest, to get me going to them. I don't really have the time. I've said this a million times on the podcast, but I don't really have the time to invest in a Souls-like at the moment. So maybe if that one's a little bit easier, I could jump into that one. There's another game you've been playing offline that we were supposed to play together that we haven't because you're a traitor. But why don't you tell us about that?
Wait, we were supposed to play it together?
Yeah, we literally said when we saw it at E3, oh, we should do a GGWP plays of this game.
Oh wait, yeah, but you can only play local co-op.
Oh, can you? You can't do online
Or
co-op.
there's like the online mode is the hotel scare tower or something, which is completely separate to the story mode.
Yeah.
Only because Riddler, another streamer.
What game is it? Well, you've not said what game it was.
It's Luigi's Mansion.
Amazing.
I feel like it's Luigi's Mansion.
It is Luigi's
I wasn't
Mansion.
sure, so I was waiting for you to say it first.
It definitely is Luigi's
Mansion. But yeah, so I was watching Riddler play it, and I was like, "Oh, are you alright if we just check if the co-op's multiplayer, like online multiplayer?" I was like, "I'll add you, and then see if I can just like drop into your game or not." Went in through the menus, went up to the co-op, and it was like, "Okay, that's cool. You just give the other Joy-Con to someone." And I was like, "Oh, it's that kind of of co-op." So I was just like, "Oof." But I think there is a separate game mode from the story that is like 4 Luigi's or something. But I think that's online.
Okay. Are you enjoying it though? I think it's good. Is it a good game? Is it worth picking up?
It is very good. It's really well put together. Like, it's kind of, there's been bits that I have found challenging, but like it still feels like a game that like you could let a kid play and they
Kind of like the
get
Lego
through it.
games.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Like if you want to get all the gems and stuff, there's definitely some bits that are more challenging. Some puzzles that you have to like really think about. But like if you just wanted to go through and beat all the bosses, do all the floors, then you could like definitely do it as a child. So,
Cool.
but no, it's very, very fun. And it's one of those games where like a lot of games get criticism because it's like, oh, the first however many hours are like tutorials or they're this or they're that. This game is just fun out of the gate. You start off, you literally go into a hotel lobby like at the start of the game, and all the hotel staff are very clearly ghosts wearing not very convincing masks. And it's just like, oh, okay, we're gonna play this game then. And like a lot of like good comedy, a lot of like what Luigi's Mansion is known for. It's just a good game. It's good, solid fun.
Good. Now Taylor is back. What have you been playing? I know you've not been streaming. Yeah. What have you been playing this week?
I'm back to Oxygen Not Included.
Yeah.
And Minecraft. And Dead by Daylight with you guys. And that pretty much summed up my week.
That pretty much sums it up. Well, luckily I have something to talk about in what we've been playing this week, because I literally just finished a live stream on it. I played Death Stranding for about 3 hours, and oh boy, I still have no clue what's going on, to be honest. If you've seen any of the marketing material of this game, most of the first couple of hours is basically what we've already seen in the trailers and the teasers and things like that. But honestly, I was streaming it on YouTube, and video is available in the video section if you want to go check it out. But I was streaming it, and everyone was just saying this game's gorgeous. And I was running it on a standard PS4, not even a PS4 Pro. But everyone was just saying how beautiful this game is. And just walking around the landscape and seeing how good it looks. It looked better than, honestly, a lot of AAA games. And before we dive into the actual game itself, for anybody who doesn't know about Death Stranding, because I was actually surprised, there was a couple of people in my chat today that didn't really know what it was. Death Stranding is a game by Hideo Kojima. It is the first game out of a studio called Kojima Productions, which is his studio after he left Konami. And we all know that Konami didn't treat Hideo Kojima particularly very well. We all know that Kojima was the creative genius behind a lot of Konami's big smash hit successes. And so a lot of people are very interested, I don't know why I said that so weirdly, interested in how this game turns out, because now he's away from the corporate shackles. Is it going to be a flop? Is it going to be amazing? And so far I feel like it's somewhere in between. I feel like it is the gameplay seems to be a little bit bare bones so far. You're basically a delivery man, and you're running around the map, and you are literally just taking items from A to B. That is your one sort of gameplay job, if you will. But the actual act of doing that makes it a lot more interesting. There's these things called BTs, or beach things, that are, I don't know what they are, but they're these little ghosty boys that walk on their hands, and if they touch you, they drag you to somewhere, and then you die, but then you come back to life. But it's okay, because you've got a little baby in a jar that helps you spot these things. It's crazy, honestly. The story is all over the place in the best of ways. I have no clue what's going on, but I don't care. Like, I wanna figure out more about what's going on. I want to see where the story goes. And all of the motion cap is brilliant. All the actors are fantastic at what they're doing. It looks great. The soundtrack is really, really good so far. There's some licensed songs in there which are really, really cool. A little bit of product placement. A little bit of Monster Energy product placement, which was weird. But they tie that into the gameplay. You have to, like, it's how you get your stamina back. You just drink Monster Energy. Why not?
Or you can choose to chug like 5 cans in a row and see if you die.
That may or may not have happened. There was a table full of them, and I was like, if I drink all of these, am I gonna die? And my chat was like, no, that's not. Monster would not allow that. And I was like, I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna see it. He didn't.
Imagine paying for product placement, and they're just like, okay, cool, but it kills you.
Yeah, 100%. Well, at the moment, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I can only imagine that Kojima must have spent a lot of money getting all of these actors on board, you know, so they've got to get that money back somehow. And so far, I can't see any microtransactions in this game. I think the game, from what I can see, the game is just making its money on being sold. So I don't know. I'm really enjoying it so far, though. I'm honestly super enjoying it to the point of where I really want to play it more. So I'm going to have to schedule another stream or something to keep on playing it, because I want to see where the story goes. But yeah, it's crazy, it's weird, it's wacky, and it's wonderful. It's not going to be for everybody. It is a very gameplay-light game. Like I say, for the most of the gameplay sections, you are sort of just running around the world. I don't want to call it a walking sim. It's more like a pizza delivery man sim, except imagine that you also have to contend with evil monsters. And I think there's going to be some human enemies at some point in the game as well. So, yeah, pretty good. Like I say, just on my channel if you want to go check it out. It was very interesting so far. So that's what I've been playing. We did Dead by Daylight. We did that. That was fun. Nothing really special to say. It was a fun night. I'm surprised we're not banned on YouTube yet, because somebody kept swearing.
Not me.
Yeah,
singing licensed songs.
Somebody dropped some pretty hefty swear bombs on the stream.
I was gonna censor myself because I was also live streaming on Twitch. So like I was in Twitch stream mode where Twitch, I can say whatever words I want. And I went to censor myself, and you were like, "Oh, like you don't have to go like crazy with the censoring yourself. Like you can swear."
And then you said the worst word out of all of them.
You literally picked the worst one.
Just literally went to see you next Tuesday. Like,
so I did.
Yeah.
I was told to add free license.
No, that's not what we said. We said you don't have to be completely censored, but there was still some censorship that needed to happen. But there we go. It was
the word that came to mind.
This may or may not be the last episode of the podcast, so we made it to a quarter of a century. We'll see you next time. Yeah, that was fun. I enjoyed it. We've been far too long, so we have a few topics to talk about today. I think some of these topics people are going to be surprised on my takes on. Honestly, like I think we're going to talk about China, and I think some people might be a little bit like, wait, what?
Why?
Yeah, well, people probably already know the topic.
China number one. China number one.
But yeah, I don't know. So if you haven't heard the news, China have, I don't know if they've implemented it yet, but they are implementing essentially a curfew on gaming, and this is aimed at minors. It's aimed for people of 18 or younger, but they are implementing a few different restrictions. So going forward, anyone who is under 18 in China will be prohibited from playing games between 10 p.m. and 8 a.m. So they won't be able to play between those times at all. There will also be a time limit on how often they can play, which, if you bear with me, because this is a very long article. So under 18s can play for 90 minutes on weekdays, while they may play up to 3 hours per day on weekends and public holidays. And on top of that, there is also going to be a limit on how much they can spend in a particular time frame. So gamers between the ages 8 and 16 will be able to spend up to 200 yuan? 200 yuan? I don't know. So which is about £22, while those between 16 and 18 can spend double that, so £44 on their gaming accounts, and that's per month. So there's going to be time restrictions, there's going to be curfews, and there's going to be spending limits, and these are all.
And we don't know if the spending limits are like in-game transactions or the games themselves.
We don't know yet. I honestly feel like this is aimed at microtransactions. I do. And we're going to get into that in a little second. But the reason why China are saying that they're doing this is the Chinese government, by the way. The reason they are saying that they are doing this is to curb gaming addiction. And that's the kind of reason they're giving it. What do you guys think about that? Do you think that this is something that the Chinese government or any governments should be sort of getting involved in? Do you think it's a good idea or a bad idea?
You want to go first, Taylor?
No, you go ahead.
I mean, personally for me, and I've said this 100 times on the podcast, I am all for the government staying out of pretty much everything. But at the same time, if people aren't gonna make, it sounds super hypocritical when you put it this way, but like, if people aren't gonna make decisions, then at some point someone has to step in and make it. It's the same as like I would love to see parents where they don't have to turn around to their kids and go like, only so long on the game. The kids should be able to be like, oh, I'm gonna play for 90 minutes.
What
because...
kid does that?
Exactly,
No,
kids don't do
never.
that. So parents step in because kids don't do that.
Yeah,
but
right.
parents should be doing
Suck.
this, and then they're not doing it, so the government is stepping in. So like,
It just
it's
feels
just
like odd.
there's
Like,
a
it feels-
hierarchy. How
it
long
feels
until
like-
God steps in? Like, I don't know. Who knows?
I don't know. The like whole premise of like stopping people from doing something that's like a leisure activity doesn't really make sense to me. Like, who is it harming?
Well, when you say who is it harming, that's an interesting statement, because there are people who are physically being harmed by video games. And this is something that a lot of people get very angry about when you talk about this topic. And before I say this, I'm a gamer of over 20 years. I've been playing since I was 6 years old, so 22, 23 years it's coming up to. I've been playing video games for. And for a lot of that time, I've been a very heavy gamer. It's my one sort of thing that I do. But people need to understand and accept that just because you can spend 10 hours a day playing a video game and then walk away and be fine, some people can't. Some people get addicted. There is an actual addiction to video games, like everything. Like, you can be addicted to, you know, Coca-Cola, like caffeine, whatever. You can get addicted to things, and there are children who are getting addicted to video games. That is a fact. That is why the World Health Organization came out with their definition of gaming addiction. People have died due to excessive gaming. There are people who have had 24-hour gaming marathons that have died. There was a 17-year-old not that long ago.
How did they die? Like, just not eating?
All sorts. People not eating, not looking after their bodies properly. They, you know, we're talking about lack of exercise, not eating, not drinking, not staying hydrated, drinking and eating probably things that aren't the greatest for you. And I'm guilty of this too. I mean, don't get me wrong, I am very guilty of this as well. But people have died due to excessive gaming. It's something that needs to be looked at in a positive and constructive way, and that's what the World Health Organization was trying to do. The problem is when you have that scenario where when games can be addictive, you always have those companies that will take advantage of that. And we've said this before with loot boxes. That's preying on gambling addiction. But what about games like MMOs that have daily login bonuses that try to get you addicted to the game to keep you logging in every day? And especially we have this with WoW. That was a big fly. We have
You're
this.
Right, bud. Should we send someone over to save you from the fly?
I don't know if it's a fly or what. Like, it's there. Jesus. Where was I going with this? Yeah, so these companies they want the games to be addictive, because if you're addicted to a game, you're always going to be playing that game. And if you're always playing that game, you're more likely to be spending money on that game. That's what they want. So it's interesting that, Elliott, you immediately went and blamed the parents. I'm not saying you blame them, but you immediately said the responsibility lies with the parents. The parents should be the ones who are, you know, limiting curfews or limiting time on games and controlling their children's behavior. And I will agree with you. I do think that the responsibility lies partly with the parents, but it also needs to lie partly with the people who are profiting from these addictions. So I feel like almost there's two people to blame from this government intervention. You've got a lack of parents knowledge, I guess, or a lack of their caring, but you've also got a very greedy industry that wants to exploit the addiction. And when it comes to, like I say, when it comes to the fact that people are being harmed, maybe losing out on careers and relationships, or actually even dying due to a gaming addiction or a spending addiction or any form of these addictions, then there needs to be something done. And I don't know, I'm weirdly in two minds on this one, because I partly agree with you, Elliot. I partly don't want the government to get involved with video games, because historically governments don't really know much about video games. So when they come wading in and start creating laws, they don't usually consult us, and they do stupid things. But at the same time, who else have we got to protect the children from these horrible, horrible companies, you know? So, I don't know. I see it as a bit of a both positive and a negative. It's probably a necessary evil at this point, honestly.
I can't believe you just think of the children to me.
I mean,
think of the children.
I mean, like I say, this is a true problem that we're facing. And in China, especially, from what I've never obviously been, but what I believe from the Chinese market is the Chinese market is much more different to ours. Much more different? That's not grammatically correct. It's much different to ours. Whereas ours is still mainly console and PC, the Chinese market is mostly mobile. And we know that all of the horrible, horrible monetization and horrible business models and horrible game progression models all came from the mobile market. Now imagine all of those being prevalent in all of the games. If the majority of people are playing mobile games, and those are the ones that are all addicting and getting people, you know, developing these bad behaviors, then I don't know. I can only imagine it's worse than it is here. And we have stories here all the time, you know, parents being like, my child won't leave the house because they want to play Fortnite or whatever. Like, it's probably even worse in China. And this is why I'm saying, like, I don't necessarily disagree with it. But at the same time, it would have been nice if these corporations would have managed themselves effectively and not led to these horrible gaming addictions. But there we go.
I mean, I suppose it's a good thing they've got on it early, and there isn't any like large corporations that maybe run like huge MMOs or games with a lot of microtransactions and stuff that have just like really railed off their Western audience, like gunning at like the Chinese audience, maybe annoyed everyone, and then the Chinese government's put limitations on Chinese gaming. That would be very embarrassing for any companies that may have done that.
It would be,
but like, it's good that it's happening now.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like certain companies that are maybe theoretically treading and desperately throwing their audience under the bus so they can branch into this Chinese market might be suddenly a little bit.
It's a hard one, yeah, especially with like monthly caps. And I'm interested to know, like, with the monthly cap moving away from companies. Snowy companies. Moving away from any kind of frost-based.
Literally, there's going to be some like small indie game developer called like Snowfall in our chat now. Be like, why are you talking about me like this? I never did it.
But yeah, if that monthly like expenditure is £44, the equivalent of £44, you said, for 16 to 18s. Like, what happens if a game gets released and it's like £50? Does it include game purchases?
This is what we're saying. I don't think
like,
so. It says on their gaming accounts, and again, this is from the BBC article, so take some of it with a pinch of salt. But I feel like this is going to be a microtransaction limit, because at the end of the day, you could physically go to the store and buy the game and bring it home. But again, I think you guys are thinking too much in the Western mindset. You're thinking of console and PC games, but again, the majority of the Chinese market, according to statistics and figures, this is going from those, but the majority of the Chinese market is mobile games, or are mobile games. So I feel like, you know, we're looking at it from that perspective, but I think a lot of these games are mobile, which are free anyway. So that's why we need these spending caps.
How do you think I regulate it, like the age? Because like you do like online gambling or whatever, and you go and you like type in just an age that's 18 plus.
I was going to say,
we do not endorse this behavior. Please do not copy this. We don't.
I mean, but realistically, there are people that do that.
Of course, there are people that get around.
But I mean, I suppose if there's any government that is not worried about diving into your private information and stuff to work out who you really are, it's probably that one.
I was about to say, I feel like what we can get away with over in the West and what you can get away with over in the East are slightly different, especially at the moment with the political climate. But without going too political again, yeah, exactly. I feel like, you know, this is something that is probably going to take a little bit of cooperation with people. And something we didn't talk about actually is that this is only including online gaming. There is no way, if you're sat there with a PS2 and you haven't got it connected to the internet, there is no way the government knows that you are playing that game. There's no way for them to stop you. So if people just love video games, want to play video games, then they can play video games for longer. These is online games. Elliot, are you okay? You're like, you're having a little...
You're like, oh, there's no way a government can know if you're offline with the PS2. And I was just like, which government we talk about again?
Well,
like,
yeah, that's true. That's true. They could send the drones in. That's what they usually do. They send the drones in to check every half an hour. It's like, oh, no, he's still on COD. He's still on COD. No. But no, seriously, though, if you... Like, this isn't going to count offline games. This is more aimed at online games, which, again, all of the online games are the problem. It's almost like I've been complaining about live service games for ages because they are the root of all the goddamn problems in our industry.
Are we ranting? Because if we're ranting, I brought snacks.
You brought burnt popcorn.
No, I took the burnt ones out.
Honestly, you had one job. You brought the snacks and you burnt it. But yeah, no, I'm trying not to be on a massive rant here this week because apparently we had a massive rant last week. I don't remember.
Taylor says we've got to be positive.
Yeah, Taylor was like,
you guys need to chill.
Be positive. But no, I do. I
Yay,
think this
totalitarian Chinese government.
I think this is one of the first steps, I think, in curbing these big companies. So I'm all for it. I would have preferred if these companies had said, hey, do you know what? Maybe some of our practices are a little bit unethical and maybe we should curb them ourselves, but they didn't. So again, sucks to be you right now.
I mean, we've been saying this on this podcast for months. Since about episode 2, we've been talking about, if like Activision and Blizzard and stuff want to keep with these microtransactions, if they keep doing it in a way that people are having issues with it, and you see all the news stories like, my kid bankrupted me, or my kid bought this, or they've done that. If we keep seeing these stories, eventually someone's going to step in. And then Belgium were like, okay, we're stepping in microtransactions. More countries are now following it up. US Congress are now following it. And we're just out there like, we literally said this was going to happen.
Yep, we did. But again, I think generally these companies don't care. I think they'll get away with as much as they can until they can't, and then they'll do something else. I mean, we're seeing this again, not to go back to it, but we're seeing this from Blizzard at the moment. You know, Blizzard are trying to just carry on like nothing's ever happened, but like it's not how it works anymore. What the hell was that?
Steer the combo away from
she's trying to do a whoa.
Oh, I'm
not trying to whoa.
Whoa. I will continue to talk about these companies until they stop doing all the crap. But
so forever, we're never going to stop.
Yeah, pretty much. Until I can change my name. Until I can change my name to TheGrumpyBrit. I don't know. TheGrumpyBrit. I was going to go Spanish. Why not? I was going to change. If I'm having a rebrand, I might as well change my nationality. El Happy Spaniard.
El Happy Spaniard.
Yeah. Le Happy Frenchman. But no. So yeah, I don't know where we were going with this topic now. I'm totally off base. But I don't know. I feel I think it's a necessary evil. Honestly,
we called it ages ago. We kept saying it was going to happen. Then it started happening everywhere else. Now China's doing it too.
Yeah.
Admittedly, the China one is like a lot more like limiting your spending, and it's one of the things I said with the gambling thing of like having a system where you can limit your spending. But I was talking about having a system where I could pick my limit.
Yeah.
But obviously, if corporations aren't going to
the
do
problem
that,
with picking your own limit. Sorry, go ahead.
That's okay. So you know how like television providers you can put on like the kid setting? It should be like that, like a parent.
Here's the thing. I was literally just about to say that. I feel like a lot of these consoles do already have those. You have parental limits. I just feel like parents either A, don't care, or B, don't know.
But then that's their own fault if their kid turns out shitty and like
I think
bankrupt them.
I think one of the problems is a lot of parents think that consoles are just video game consoles like they used to be, right? Whereas only 10 years ago, really, if you bought a console and you went and plugged it in, you just put a game in and played it. That was it. Whereas now you buy a console, you can tie a credit card to it, you can spend £20,000 on Fortnite or whatever, and you know, these games, again, are designing to be addictive and keep you playing all day. I think a lot of parents just don't know. They think that these consoles are still
they live
innocent.
in like 2019 with the rest of us.
No, they don't. They don't. This is the thing. We live on Twitter. They don't.
There was the guy a while back who, like, he was aware and he bought FIFA knowing it had the microtransactions. and it was something like we talked about it, I think about 4 weeks ago, maybe on the podcast. He bought his kids for like, I don't know, birthday or something. He bought them a couple packs. They saw him input the payment details, and then he effectively came back and said, we ended up with like £800 on the PlayStation, couldn't work out why, and they'd gone and got his wallet and just gone and done it.
Bad parenting. That's not the game.
It is definitely bad parenting, and it's not the game's problem. But you're saying about like having parental things, it doesn't always work because you end up just in the kind of the same loop of they can give us all the tools we want, but nowadays kids are so much more tech savvy than their parents.
Yeah.
They're gonna find a way around it.
A kid could steal a credit card and go and do that on like any form of online purchase. Like it doesn't necessarily need to be video games. So like, does the whole model is it just broken?
Well,
like,
the problem is though is I feel like there's a few steps removed, because if you go and do an online purchase, just to take your example, to go and do an online purchase, most people understand that you go, you buy something, and then you have that product, right? The problem is when you're playing these games all day, every day, and there's always that niggling little thing in the back of your mind going like, oh, there's that skin that I really want. Oh, but my mate's got that skin.
That's how marketing works for everything. Everything's
no, but it's too easy. This is the problem. It's too easy. When you're playing that game and all your friends are playing it and you're in that environment and it's literally 1 or 2 buttons to go from there to spending £20,000, which again is not like, that's not an exaggeration. That has happened. That's what I'm saying. That's where there needs to be a stop, because you sign in to a Amazon account, right? And then you go shopping on Amazon. You don't want your kid to spend on your Amazon account. You don't tell them your login. However, you give a kid an Xbox, and now all of a sudden they have a Fortnite. They have the access to buying stuff. And so I feel like I said, again, it's there's always got to be an element of responsibility on the parents, because no parent ever should tie their credit card to their console. Just don't do it. That's why they invented those little cards that you get, that, you know, top-up cards or whatever. But again, I just think a lot of parents just don't understand, and there needs to be an element of blame. If the kid comes to you and says, hey, mom, dad, I want your credit card to buy a map pack, don't do it. Go and get them the prepaid card. But then, I don't know, I feel like a lot of parents just feel like, okay, it's cool, my child is just going to buy one thing, and then they won't buy any more. But then that child is then being exposed to the seedy, very manipulative techniques that these companies use. There's a video, actually, I feel like you should watch, Taylor, which is
the companies are like, okay, step 1, go to your parents' wallet. Step 2, this is the number.
Well, no, because they know, these companies know that those credit cards are going to be tied. Once you've used it once, it's tied to the account.
But like anyone who's made an online purchase knows, like, it saves their credit card if you want it to. So don't do that. That's a parent's responsibility.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
Argue this,
I 100% agree. But what about the kids who then take the credit card, steal it, and then go and input that way? Because there's no security measures to stop you.
That's the problem.
To be fair, I'm not sure that's true. At some point, I need to pull my PlayStation and just be like, because I think you can, at least on PlayStation Store, I think you can make it so that every purchase you have to input a password.
You can do, but you have to opt into that.
You can do that on
You have to opt in.
Yeah. Which, like, obviously, you have to opt in, but like, then at that point, the onus is entirely on the parents. Yeah. Like, PlayStation have given you all the tools to make sure that there cannot be sales. Even if the kid goes to your wallet, gets your card, goes back to the thing, has to put the password in. Because I think at that point, the only explanation is that the kid knows the password. So either you use the password.
So what if they know the password? Then they still get the thing. Like, what is the difference?
I think it comes down to your viewpoint here. Do you believe that the problem is with the system, or do you believe the problem is with the people creating the need to buy the things? And where I truly believe the problem is the companies making the need for these children to buy the products by making their games very addictive. And by the way, again, there was a video that got leaked not long ago, and this is a totally legit video, and I do feel like you should probably watch it, Taylor, because it was one of the people who goes around to the different companies and tells them how they can basically make more money from microtransactions. That's his job. He's like I want to say he's a marketer, but he's like a scientist or whatever. I don't know, what do you call him, Elliott? You know the guy I'm talking about, where he's talking about how to get people to spend more in your games, like turning players into payers and all that stuff.
Is it Gary V?
Something like that.
He does a lot of business stuff.
Yeah, he does conferences and people go and pay, and then they listen to him, and he teaches you how to get more people to pay in your games.
I don't know.
There's people like that in business, in every single business that's ever existed. So I don't understand how, like, saying those people are crooks when you just apply them to video games.
because just because it happens a lot doesn't mean it's going to go. And again,
it's just like the way that business is.
Let me flip on it. So if you walk into a store as a child, right? You are 11 years old and you walk into a store with a credit card and you go over to the desk and you're like, oh, I saw these Nike boots that I keep seeing on TV because all the time I see them on TV and I really want to buy them. And you're 11 years old and you've got a credit card and you're at the desk and you're serving that 11-year-old, right? You go to that 11-year-old, you go, this is not your credit card. You're 11. Get out, right? That's what happens, right? But again, the way these environments are being set up. Look at Fortnite. It is aimed at children. That game is 100% aimed at children. But
your kid could steal the credit card and buy it online on the Nike store. Like, it's
yeah,
not
but
like that's any different from a video game.
I accept your point. However, in the UK at the moment, there is a lot of the banks are actually setting up steps to stop that stuff from happening because they realise that a lot of parents have fraudulent, or a lot of people in general have fraudulent transactions going on. So now a lot of banks are requiring you to put passwords in if you go and spend on your credit card. So again, unless you literally give your children the login, there should be no way. In fact, with my bank, for example, when I make an online purchase now, it will send a text to my phone saying, was this you? And I click yes or no, which is, again, a very, very good and sensible suggestion. But my banks are implementing these for online purchases. But at the moment, there is no protection from consoles. But the problem is, again, and PC as well, but mainly consoles. The problem is these consoles are in the homes of everybody now. Every child has access to them, and children are the ones that are being targeted the most. And this is why China have, aimed these new laws, these new rules at children. Because if you're an adult, you can spend whatever you want. It's your money. You've got the choice, right? But the people that are losing out the most from all of this horrible marketing and all of this manipulation, because that's what it is, it's manipulation, right? Are children. They're the ones that are most vulnerable to it, and those are the ones that are potentially going to, damage their lives because of it. Because what about all these kids who end up with gambling addictions or end up with, bad behaviors or bad patterns of behavior in their adult lives because of this? This is what we need to be tackling. And again, I guess it depends on where you fall. Do you think that the system is to blame, or that the tools aren't there? Or do you think the people that are profiting from it are the ones that are to blame? And again, I lean towards the latter because, I don't know, people making the most money off of these horrible things are the ones that should be turning around and going, no, this is unethical. We shouldn't be making money this way. But anyway, I digress. China, good job. Maybe kind of halfway. Good job. Keep fighting the good fight, I guess. Apart from all the other stuff that you're doing.
Yeah. But that one fight, but then in the rest of it, just kind of like, no, thank you.
Yeah. Good job.
So just complete digression to something completely different. I Googled illegal to advertise to children because I'm pretty sure there's legislation in the UK and a couple of other countries about advertising directly to children.
I have talked about that one. Continue.
Which there is. But Google's autofill, if you put illegal to advertise, the first autofill is illegal to advertise eggs as healthy, and I was so confused. So in the middle of that conversation, there's a bit where I'm going, and it's because there was a really weird Google autofill.
I mean, apparently eggs give you diabetes, but we're not going to do that topic. But you just made me think of a topic actually. There's a topic to do with streamers and stuff, and influencers, or whatever you want to call people that get on
Instagram ones?
Camera. Well, not just
a couple of weeks ago, Instagram banned people from advertising diet stuff.
No,
so diet teas, all that crap.
That's not the topic. Okay, this actually concerns anybody who makes content, so it actually concerns all three of us right now. So we'll talk about the other topics after this. But
Taylor makes content.
She used to make content.
I'm playing.
Wait, is that sign language? Is that sign language for naughty things? Wow.
Is YouTube going to ban us?
We are getting around the
How many minutes are we?
We're like 40 minutes in.
You don't know that one?
We can swear, it's fine. So just Elliott, calm down. I said we can swear, not all of the words. Just chill. He's Googling which words he can say, like, I want to say that again.
I'm trying to work out what I can swear.
So the FTC are changing some of the laws, or changing some of the not laws, but they're changing some of the guidelines around content creators, influencers, whatever you want to call them, YouTubers especially, about them disclosing paid promotion and any sort of sponsorship or branding deals. And they're making it so that if any of your sort of content is aimed towards children, you have extra responsibilities that you have to take. And I think this is down to a lot of, I think it does come from certain like diet things and things like that. But I think it comes down to a lot of influencers. I don't like that term. But it comes down to a lot of influencers who have very large audiences made up of predominantly children, selling them stuff, selling them products, you know, especially products that maybe aren't really all that great. And so essentially, and this is all out of the top of my head, I don't know where the article is because I've just thought about it just now. So this is all, you're welcome. This is quality professional reporting. Essentially, you're going to have to, well, when I say you're going to have to, this is the FTC. There's not all that much that they can do, but you're going to have to disclose all of your promotions, even if you weren't necessarily paid for that specific video. So if you have an affiliation with, let's just say, for example, G Fuel, you have to declare that if your video is being pushed towards children. So you can't, as in the past, what's happened, people would just sit there, just casually taking a sip of their G Fuel or other related products, and not necessarily being sponsored by them on that particular video, but having sort of maybe slight ties to a company and saying, hey guys, I really enjoy the cool, refreshing taste of Zero Coca-Cola.
So this is a weird one in my eyes, because like obviously this is really easy on YouTube.
Sorry, continue.
So this is really easy on YouTube, where you can look at your analytics, so you can see what your demographics are.
Yeah.
But like as a Twitch streamer, I have no way.
Here's the thing, though. I know you say that.
Well,
you say that. There's already been a little bit of a debate around this topic, because when a lot of people have said, well, how do I know if my content is aimed towards children? And one of the clauses actually said, even if the creator doesn't think that their content is aimed towards children, they might decide that it is. And this also, by the way, means that you have to go through any of your previous content, and again, this is aimed towards YouTube, through any of your previous content and update it. So if you are affiliated with a company, you have to go through all of your videos and update them manually to say if they were including paid promotion or not. And
so for example, for me, I stream on Twitch. I have my Twitch streams marked as mature, but obviously anyone can just press okay, that's fine, of any age. Surely the onus can't be on me, because like I swear, I drink beer, I play 18 plus games. How can that onus be on me? That seems unreasonable.
What about people like PewDiePie and the Yogscast, who have giant audiences of children who maybe didn't necessarily mean that to happen, but it did? Look at the Yogscast. They swear, they make adult jokes all the time. They do
but the content
bad behaviors that shouldn't happen.
Surely you know that, because they do like all the Minecraft kind of things like that. Like know where your viewership is if you're making Minecraft content, which like I see that, but like the stuff I'm making legitimately isn't for children.
Yeah, but
there is probably still 14, 15-year-olds watching my content. Like
it says aims toward, though. It doesn't say. But to be fair, some of the phrases were used
entirely on their own discretion.
I really wish I had the article up, because I was reading through it, and some of the phrases were very interesting. It said things like, and again I'm paraphrasing, it said things like caters towards or resonates with children, or something like that. Let me see if I can get see if I can get the article up right now for you. Here we go. 1 day ago, FTC publishes new disclosure guidelines for influencers. That is the one.
So did you say the FTC or the FCC?
FTC. Here we go. Right, here's the actual.
So surely they have no jurisdiction outside the US.
Disclosures 101 for social media influencers. Do you work with brands to recommend or endorse products? If so, you need to comply with the law. Oh, it is law. So yeah, it's all about deceptive.
But it sounds like
ads.
US law.
It's all about deceptive. Yeah, exactly. That's where it gets dicey, because it is going to be US law. If you're in the EU, we fall under different jurisdictions, but then it's weird because it's like if you're on YouTube, YouTube is an American platform, so it's like, why does it lie? So disclose when you have any financial, employment, personal, or family relationship with a brand. So that whole, hey guys, we found this CSGO website, we think it's really cool. That wasn't okay. Well, we knew that anyway.
I mean, I was gonna say there's already stuff in place for that.
So here's another interesting thing that you brought up. If posting from abroad, US law applies if it's reasonably foreseeable that the post will affect US consumers. Foreign laws may also apply.
Which that I can check. I can check if there are Americans watching my stream.
We can. We absolutely can. Where was
That
the
I'm fine with, but like I have no age demographics in my analytics, so I'm just like, I don't know what you want me to do about this.
So here's another one. You can't talk about your experience with a product you haven't tried. There's literally a
Yeah,
bottle
obviously.
with a snake on it. If you're paid to talk about a product and thought it was terrible, you can't say it's terrific. I mean, this is me all over. Like, I'm happy with these.
That's unenforceable, though, because how are you going to know my experience of a
Exactly.
product?
It's like, hey, I really like the cool, refreshing taste of Coca-Cola. That's just my allergies. You can't make up claims about a product that would require proof the advertiser doesn't have, such as scientific proof that products can treat a health condition, which again is fair. And I think this is all sort of leaning towards, hey guys, look at this miracle gummy that I've been taking, and it made my bald patch grow back. Like,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Exactly, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So this is what I'm saying, and I think again, all of these are very similar to the China situation. All of these are very good things. I think these should be, enforceable, and it's just again, it's the people that are profiting from children that are making it all worse for all of us. Let's be honest.
It's just, here's a list of things that is you being an ass.
Yeah. I mean,
just don't do that.
It's interesting for me though. The main point of me bringing up this article. It's very interesting that the FTC, as a an authority, is taking an interest in influencers, people who for the last sort of, I'd say up to 10 years, but really specifically in the last 5 years, have been sort of free reign doing whatever they want. It's going to get harder for people to make money off of idiots, really. I mean, Belle Delphine selling bathwater. Does she have to tell? Is she technically affiliated with her utility company? Who knows? We don't know.
Obviously not.
It was a joke, but still.
Okay.
It was a good joke. I liked it.
Yeah, thank you.
It went over his head.
Yeah, it's all right. Not everyone can understand the joke.
It's getting hard to tell.
Sure.
What is nonsense?
What is a joke and what is serious? But no, so yeah,
Mm-hmm.
FTC guidelines. I mean, if you are a creator, I would strongly suggest you go and look at the list. I'm going to leave a link down below. Someone remind me at the end to leave a link down below,
Sure.
because it's something that could affect you. I mean, I think most gamers are okay, but I've definitely seen some shady promotion before, like Dr. Disrespect, being like, "Hey guys, I'm really enjoying the new Call of Duty Blackout mode, and I'll never play it again afterwards." That was an interesting one.
That was a good
So
one.
he didn't say that he was paid for saying that?
I don't believe so. And this is something that's happened a lot in our industry in the past, where people haven't disclosed promotion or affiliateship or ties to companies where they are obviously profiting from.
If a streamer is gifted like a game pass or a game code,
That's something else. Yeah, if you get gifted the game from the company, you have to disclose that.
So where do you disclose it, in your bio or what?
Well,
So
the FTC guidelines. Sorry, go ahead.
The last time I got one, I just put it in my title. So I just
the FTC guidelines says it needs to be very, very clear and visible, and it needs to be easy for people to see it. So your title is a very good place to do that. I mean, here's the thing: we should be doing this anyway, and the reason we should be doing this anyway is if you get a game for free and you go and play it, you may or may not, but you may be a little bit more inclined to give the game a bit more of a positive review. Especially if you're a smaller creator. Imagine you as a streamer, Elliott, right? And imagine, I don't know, Blizzard came over to you and was like, hey, here's a free copy of Overwatch 2, go play it. You may be a little bit more... There's two things that could happen here, right? You may be a little bit extra positive to it, because you might be like, oh, that was really nice of Blizzard. That was really nice of Blizzard to give me a free game, and I'm really enjoying this game that I got for free that I didn't pay for. I'm going to tell my whole audience that I'm really enjoying this game. They go and buy it, and they're like, now that I've paid $60 for it, I don't agree with him. Or the other way could even be true. You might be like, right, I got this game for free. I really need to make sure that I'm not too overly happy about it because I don't want to lie to my audience. And then you're like nitpicking of little things. You're like, oh, Tracer's arms weren't big enough, and then everyone's like, he thinks the game's rubbish, and it could go the other way. So this is something that Total Biscuit used to talk about a lot. You need to disclose, because people need to have that information to go, do you know what, maybe his or her opinion may have been colored by that deal or that gift or that whatever. So it's a really good idea and should always have been happening anyway, but like we've said, people see money and they go, I'm gonna do that and not think about it or the consequences. So yeah, go check it out. I'll leave a link down below. Definitely go check out the guidelines because it might affect you. If you're a streamer or a YouTuber or an Instagrammer or whatever, it might affect you. All right. So back on to the real topics. You have one.
We've completely lost Taylor.
We
Taylor
have.
is
We have.
Taylor is gone.
She's thinking about her future Instagram career and how it's over.
She's texting on her phone on a desk.
No, she's
That's
thinking.
how bad it is.
She's telling her manager, her Instagram manager, she's like, "Shut it down, shut it down,
like,
send back
hey,
the gummies."
Go. Yeah. I have terrible hair. I'm not taking any gummies. Don't worry.
Maybe you should. No.
Yeah. So I actually done too much of a segue. So PlayStation now.
Yeah.
Smooth.
Was that PlayStation Now or PlayStation Now?
PlayStation Now.
PlayStation Now.
Game
Now.
streaming subscription has removed all of new releases from their Game Pass.
Well, they didn't really have any.
They haven't taken anything out. What they've said is they're never going to do it. They're just like, we are not going to put new launches on PlayStation Now. This is coming off of the back of Outer Worlds. I recently bought myself get the PC version of the Xbox Game Pass because for a singular £1, I can get 30 days of playing Outer Worlds, which looks fantastic. But yeah, Xbox basically were just like, yeah, we're going to really encourage people to take the Game Pass by releasing new games on it because Gears 5's already on there. And what's that, like 2-3 weeks old? It's not very old at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, PlayStation were asked about it recently. And they basically came forward and just like, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to use the PS Now for our back catalogue of games if you want to play them a while after they've been released. But new releases, I think their quote was they want to leave them clean and pure, which means you have to pay for them.
Definitely.
Which I want to make money.
It still sounds like a song from Kingdom Hearts. So I have very cynical opinions about this whole topic. I know, shocking, right?
What else is?
What a radical change of events. So I am actually. Here's the thing. I'm actually torn on this one because I don't like subscription models. Not all of them. Some of them. Netflix, fine. I pay for Netflix. I think the content on Netflix is great. You can't get most of it anywhere else. I'm happy to pay for it, right? My problem is a lot of these subscriptions, especially with games, are designed to sort of get you into subscribing to them, and then you go off on your merry little way, and 6 months later you go, oh crap, I'm paying like $15 a month for a service that I've not used in 6 months. And there's actually a Watchdog topic on it. If you don't know what it is, Watchdog is a UK, basically pro-consumer company. They go around, they like, I should work for Watchdog, goddammit. But they go around and they like call out big businesses on stuff that they're doing which they think is wrong, and they try to fix it and amend it. And they actually talked about subscription services not long ago as being on their radar because they know that a lot of customers end up paying a lot of money for subscriptions that they never ever use for a year or two, or for some people you're talking 10 years and they forget they're paying for something and then they come back to it. Yeah, like the gyms, exactly. This is why gyms all run on subscription services, right? Because you sign up for the gym in January and by December you're like, oh crap, I never went once. This is why I'm fat. So I definitely have done that before, by the way. So it's one of those things where I feel like if it's an option that you have, like with Xbox and PlayStation 4, right? You don't have to sign up for it. That's fine. Then don't. But then Xbox are like, hey, why buy the Outer Worlds when you can just subscribe? Here's it for free, or here's it for like £4 for a month, and then a year later you paid for it. I don't know. I just feel like it's one of those things. We're coming to the point now where we have so many subscriptions, and just to tie it into like movies and TV, going back to Netflix, somebody compiled all of the like American subscription services that there are now, and it was saying if you want to get all of the TV content now, you pay more for that than you do cable. And one of the biggest things is Disney obviously launching their own streaming service and putting all of the future Disney content on their streaming service, and then going, hang on a minute, they actually came out with this a couple of days ago, saying that if you want to keep all of the information in the current MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is all the Avengers films and so on, you're going to have to watch the shows that we put on the Netflix, whatever they call it, Disney Netflix. Whatever it's called. Disney Plus. There we go.
Disney Netflix.
Disney Netflix.
When branding is so hard, you can't get a Netflix out of it.
Yeah.
Just Disney
Really,
Netflix.
though? Disney Netflix.
I like it. The Netflix of Disney. But yeah, so this is the thing. I feel like we can only subscribe to so many things. You know, we have limited money. We can only subscribe to so many things, and I almost like that PlayStation are like, no, you have to buy the games, because look at Death Stranding, a game that we just talked about, making all of its money off of sales. Imagine how that would be affected by. Imagine if that was on PS Now. Like, imagine how affected that would be by that. That's a lot of missed sales, you know. So I'm kind of.
What about the games like where you like bought them and you thought they were a huge flop and you got to try them for only $4 and you're like, well, phew, thank God I didn't spend $60 on that.
Yeah, sure. Sure, that's a good point. I mean, there's a lot of games that end up free to play after you've bought them. A lot of multiplayer games, a lot of live service games. It's almost like they're the problem. But yeah, there's a lot of games like Anthem that end up going free. Did Anthem end up going free, or did they just cancel it? I don't even know anymore.
I don't know. I thought they just canceled.
I think they basically have just cancelled it.
I think they got rid of support for it.
Right. But a lot of games end up going free if they don't do so well. And I'll be honest with that. Do you know why most of those games don't do so well? Hazard a guess? Anyone?
Because they're crap.
Yeah, because they're not great. This is what happens. I mean, again, really interested to see how well Death Stranding and Cyberpunk 2077 do, because those are two games that are relying on game sales that these companies keep saying aren't enough anymore. They keep saying, we can't do it, we have to do the microtransactions. It'd be good to see how they do. But going back to the topic, I just feel like we have enough subscriptions, and I like subscriptions that are optional and give me some benefit that I otherwise couldn't get without it. I don't really want my games to come at subscription. I'd rather pay for them outright. That's just me. Some people love it. I know Ruby, who we were playing Dead by Daylight with last night, she loves the Game Pass. And that's cool. You know, she has the option to. And I will be fair to the Xbox Game Pass. You have the option there. You can still buy the games normally, or you can do the Game Pass. So I'm happy with that. You have the option. I'd still rather buy the games outright. And so I'm kind of glad that PlayStation are keeping all of their releases separate, honestly. Especially considering their releases are a lot better than a lot of the Xbox offerings, let's be honest. So, yeah. Cool. Game Pass.
I mean,
PS Now.
So for me, Xbox Game Pass has some fantastic games. I was looking through it earlier because I just paid for it. So I was like, may as well look what else I can get. And there's some like excellent offers on there, excellent offerings on there rather than actual excellent offers. And like for me, as someone that plays games a lot, it is going to be cheaper for me to probably play games on the pass than it is to buy all the games I want to play.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But also like I'm pretty like keyed on with these kinds of things. I'm not gonna stop using the Game Pass and then like 6 months later go, oh my god, I stopped using it. Like if I stop using it, I'm just gonna cancel my subscription. Like it's just straight through and done.
We're sensible people, and we're also poor people, so probably why we.
So you noticed that $5.
We do. I mean, I had to last year. Think about it. Last year, I had to cancel my PlayStation Plus subscription, and I actually like the PlayStation Plus subscription. Again, it's one of those that I gain value from. I gain free games every month, which are usually pretty good. You have discounts on the store, and you get to play online with your friends. So I'm like, cool. I'm happy to pay that, right? But I had to cancel it last year because I just couldn't afford the £7 a month, whatever it was, because I was on a really tight budget. So yeah, it's one of those things. I really don't like subscriptions. I can handle a few at a time, but I don't like how every company seems to be wanting to push you into all of their subscriptions. It's just not like you have Xbox Live, and then you have Game Pass, and then on the next Xbox, you'll probably have Xbox TV Pass. Let's be fair, that's how they're heading. It's just, there's too many, you know, and you get to a point where you're missing out on stuff that I don't think you should have to miss out on, you know.
I mean, anyway, the Xbox Game Pass comes with Live anyway.
Yeah, I mean, well, you have to pay for them separately. Like,
there's a tier that doesn't include. So there's a tier that doesn't include Xbox games. It's just PC, which is what I've got. So I don't have an Xbox. Then there's a tier that includes Xbox games and PC games. Then there's a tier that is Xbox Live, Xbox games, PC games.
Right. So you're still paying more.
So
for it, so
you are paying more for it, but I think even the top tier is like £15 a month. I think
it's a lot of money. I mean, again, it only really becomes a problem if you're somebody who only has an Xbox and you always play Xbox every day, it's probably not going to be that bad. But when you're somebody like us who has to work with Xbox, PC, PlayStation, Switch, freaking calculator these days, it's you know what I mean? It all builds up and adds up, and it's one of those things where, especially what I don't like is when these companies go, hey, well, the game comes out on the 10th, but if you've got it on the Game Pass, it comes out on the 7th.
No, that can jog on.
Because that's
Wasn't
the
that
kind of
only
stuff I don't
EA?
like. Yeah, pretty much. But that's what I'm saying. But if EA's doing it now, how long is it before Microsoft go, ooh, we haven't thought of that one. That's a good one. Those EA
did it.
rascals.
Got absolutely dragged through the coals on it, and it didn't work, and everyone was just confused. So I feel like
Blizzard
hopefully everyone goes, oh, well, that was super dumb. We're not going to do that.
Yeah.
Oh dear. But yeah, so I'm not. It's not something that I get really angry about, but it is something. Every time a new subscription service comes out, I just go, another one. You know, like I'm just, I don't want any more.
I mean, the movie stuff's getting silly now because like Netflix did it, and it was like pretty good. And then Amazon were like, well, we're going to start making our own ones. Which at least with the Netflix and Amazon, like they had rights to different IP, and then they were also filming their own stuff. So you get Netflix originals, and you get like whatever Prime calls theirs. But then like Disney obviously had a lot of their stuff on Netflix, and then they basically have gone, well, why should we pay Netflix money or like lose out on money to Netflix for people to stream our stuff? So they've now brought out their own, and HBO's got their own, and then you've got like Hulu, and you've got this and that, and everyone's trying to jump on the back of that.
Yep. And this is what
which
I'm
now is just to a point. If you want access to everything, it's getting messy.
Yeah, and then do you know what's going to happen? I'm just going to call it now, and I don't support this, but it's just going to lead to a massive increase in piracy. Because if you're somebody who physically can't afford 10 different services, that means you can't watch all the programs. And if your friends have been like, hey, I watched that newest episode of Spider-Man or whatever on Disney Plus, and you're like, hey, well, I can't afford that, I'll just go to a dodgy website and pirate it. Because it really is impossible to have everyone now. When we look at films and movies, and that's the same thing, films and TV shows, you can't pay for all of them. I mean, even if you did pay for all of them, you probably couldn't watch it all. So it's going to go the same way with games. I feel like they're probably going to crash themselves out of the market.
Our family does like the family account and pays for the upgraded account, but like our family pays for Netflix, my aunts pay for like Prime, and then like another family member pays for HBO, and then we all have each other's passwords.
Interesting that you say that though, because Netflix has said recently that they're going to clamp down on that, and they're going to start IP locking it, so you can only watch within the same IP.
In the same house.
Yeah, because they said
what
that
happens if you use like a VPN or something?
Well, that's the way around it, but most
like,
consumers
also,
won't
there's,
know
like,
that.
a huge trend like about like blockchain and like untrackable websites and all of that. So like they're gonna, it's definitely gonna be moving towards that. So it'll be interesting how they try to track you when you aren't trackable.
Yeah.
I mean, if they have an IP address that's against your account, surely you won't be able to VPN and stuff. They will just stop you VPNing.
Well, it depends if there's a way.
Because when you VPN, it's not always the same IP, is it?
No, it's a different IP. That's how VPNs work. But before we go into the like, we're three people who know nothing about tech episode. It's interesting. I mean, it's interesting to see how the climate of subscriptions, it's gone from like the climate of microtransactions to the climate of subscriptions. It's like it's not a microtransaction if you pay it monthly.
But yeah, everyone wants their own slice of the pie, and obviously companies want to make sure that they can get money and stuff. I'm interested to know how it works. So, like, obviously, you were talking earlier about CD Projekt Red with Cyberpunk 2077. Is it 2077?
2077.
Has my 2077?
Yeah.
My brain is just not working at the moment. But like with that, if it was on a subscription service, how do their sales figures? So, like Outer Worlds, are they just going to have really bad sales figures? Because it's available for £1, and most people I know have just bought the subscription service for £1.
Exactly. I have to imagine there was some form of deal done to get that game on the Game Pass. I'm not an expert. I'm not a business expert. Taylor might know. I just think maybe there's probably a deal done. I'm sure they must have given the Outer Worlds some money to be like, hey, we're going to put you on the Game Pass and not sell your game at all. Although I don't know how it works. Do they give them money to be on the store? Do they gain percentage of sales? I don't know. I don't know how it all works. So there's no use speculating when we really don't know how the system works. But it is an interesting point nonetheless that you are going to lose out on sales of a game on a subscription service. Maybe they get a percentage of that.
They probably get a flat rate, and then like based on how many people they draw to the Game Pass and play that game, and they get like an extra whatever rate.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
even beyond that, like, because obviously when we look at games and their successes and things like that, like when the Switch came out, there was this whole thing of like, how many units has it sold?
Yeah.
How is it comparing to like the 3DS and stuff?
Well, I think
Like,
a lot of
surely you have that, like your analytics, I suppose.
I think a lot
for
of
lack of a
the
better word.
analytics now are done more on the player base rather than units sold. I think a lot of people are like, okay, well, a lot of people will say, okay, so I don't know, Anthem had 1 million players on day one, but then it had 500,000 players on day two. You know, like they kind of look at that number rather than being flat units sold, because I feel like units sold is such a messy number. Because if you're a business and you buy 500 copies of Anthem, but if you did that, like, does that count? Is that 500 units sold, or is it only sold when the customer buys it? You know what I mean? So there's that number was always such a gray area anyway. I feel like concurrent player base is a much more solid indicator because we can track those numbers, because every game these days is online. Every game is online all of the time because they're all live services. But yeah, so Red Dead, Elliot, do you want to talk about that? You're a Red Dead fan.
I'm a Red Dead fan. I played it on the PlayStation 4. Great game, fantastic story, really good characters. In the last week, it's been released on the PC. Everyone's unhappy.
That doesn't sound like the video game industry.
I think it's just a bad port. Like it has a lot of issues. Apparently, there's like a lot of antiviruses that are just completely blocking it, no matter what you do. Their Vulkan settings are having like real problems, which is like the way that it reads the DirectX stuff. I think a lot of people are just finding that it's like crashing a lot. I've seen a lot of tweets and things where literally you just can't launch it.
That's a lot of issues.
Yeah, for Rockstar as well. It's such a huge company. Like, but I mean, GTA 5 had issues when it came through to the PC, and then they brought out the online, which also should kind of suggest that maybe they should know how to do it by now. But yeah, they did their PC release. They've brought out some new stuff for it. Some of the stuff is online. Some of the stuff is in game. It's basically just like some collectibles, some online bounties. Apparently on the 4th, they did various stability fixes in the notes.
Okay.
But yeah, from what I've seen, the launch, because it's come out on the PC at a full price, not like this game's been out for.
Well, I mean,
I got it for my last birthday, so a year.
Yeah.
That's a hard one though, because I'm like, generally speaking, a game comes out at full price and then depreciates in value over time, but usually it depreciates in value because things like Steam sales, right? But where are we buying this? Is it on Steam? Is it on the Rockstar launcher? Like, where are we buying it from?
I think that
Because
it is on Steam.
If we're buying it on Steam, you've got to remember that Steam need their cut. So why the hell would they pay to have this game on their storefront and then sell it at a discounted price already?
Oh, my Steam's not open.
You know, so again, it's one of those things. It's a weird one for me, because I was convinced that I was gonna jump on Red Dead when it came to PC. I said I'd rather play on PC. I know my PC's gonna run it better than my Xbox or PlayStation. So boom, let's go. And now it's out, I just lost interest. I don't know if it's because it's been out so long and I've seen everyone play it to death or whatever. But I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I'm over it. And I feel like a more interesting topic in this whole Red Dead sort of bad port later release situation is maybe companies need to like hold off on their initial launches until like more of their ports are ready, because in this day and age, and this is just my own opinion, but in this day and age, I feel like people don't have the attention spans that we used to. I feel like people are already moving on to the next game, and when you leave it like a year or whatever between a game release, the same game on different platforms, I just haven't got the attention for it. It's an old game to me now, even though I've never played it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I just picked up Spider-Man, which, because I already own that on PlayStation, I haven't played it yet. I picked up Spider-Man, started playing it, really enjoying it. And I'll probably pick up Red Dead at some time and enjoy it. But why would I buy it full price right now on Steam when I could just buy it?
You've already waited this long.
Oh, this is the thing that confuses me with it, because with a lot of games, so like God of War, I knew it was going to be good when it came out. I loved the old God of War games on the PS2. I didn't have the money to buy it at £50, so I basically waited till the first time it went on sale, picked it up for 20. Brilliant game, but because it is a single player experience, you're not missing anything by waiting.
Yeah.
And
Right.
like for me, for Red Dead, like it has the online, but I hated GTA Online. I thought it. Well, I can see why it appealed to some people. Didn't appeal to me. So
Yeah.
I was pretty sure Red Dead is going to be the same kind of system. So if I didn't have it on the PlayStation, was waiting for the PC, I would still be waiting for the game because it is a single player experience.
You know what
If you're not playing the
just
online,
to go on a complete tangent, you know the whole
Oh.
Red Dead Redemption Online when it got added, because it didn't get added at launch, it got added after launch, post launch.
yeah,
Everyone complained because they were like, people are griefing in this game. They're like running around in gangs and shooting other people. I'm like, that's what I want.
cowboys.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
I want to be the guy in black from Westworld. I want to just go around and be like, yo, we found a guy on his own, let's kill him. You know, like, I feel like that was like the whole point of what it was supposed to be, but the community was just like, nah, I don't want to be in a dangerous cowboy world. I want to be in a safe and happy, fluffy environment, you know? I actually, that's probably one thing that would get me into Red Dead 2 now, is going on the online.
Is going online and griefing people.
Yeah,
Yes, you're the worst person.
Westworld Simulator. Like, what can I say? We could form a GGWP gang. We could go around and, you know, find people.
Hey,
and...
I proposed that with Sea of Thieves, and you guys.
I can play Sea of Thieves now. I got Game Pass.
God damn it! I don't.
To be fair, I played Sea of Thieves when it released, and it was really fun. It didn't have enough in it at release. Yeah. Like you go around, you do some stuff. I've seen some streamers play it since, and like it still looks just as fun. And there is now way more combat content. So I'm just like, I could definitely get on this game.
I'm down for it. I'll give it a go.
Do you own it?
No, but I'll buy it. I especially considering I just started watching Black Sails on Amazon Prime, talking about subscription services that I don't like. I started watching Black Sails, which is like a pirate TV show, so I'm in the mood for pirate games. I'll role play it. I'll put pirate outfit on. Let's go. I'll be like, yar me hearties.
Like it is. Oh, it was already installed. I was like, oh, I'll like have a look. So it's $31.99 to buy. Still, but they are still supporting the game, and there's still stuff coming out on it. Also, if there's 3 of us, we can have one of the big ships. I never played on a sloop, which is the little 2-man one.
Yeah.
So the big one, you have 4 people.
These poor guys, I get on there with Keisha, and we don't know anything that's going on with 2 people who obviously play all the time, and they like taught me how to play. It was really nice.
That's really cool.
I did sink the ship though.
I yelled at everyone when we played.
I sunk the ship. I didn't mean to, but I couldn't find the hole.
Did you ground it?
Oh, you're supposed to plug the hole.
Yeah. So there's like planks.
So you collect wood, and then if someone shoots a cannon at you, it puts holes in your ship, and you have to run around and bail your ship, and then like fill the holes. And I thought I filled them all, but I missed one, and my ship sunk.
Can you board other ships?
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, you go and you like steal other people's stuff.
I want to do that.
To be fair, right? If you want to do a better boarding, what you do is you get in a cannon and you have your mate fire you onto another ship, because you can get in cannons and fire yourself around.
I don't know.
And then you grab their stuff, jump off the boat, and get your friends to pick you up from the water.
Yeah.
Can you ram another boat and then jump off into their boat?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm down for this game. When are we playing this game?
I literally brought this up with you a year ago, and you were like, nah. And I'm like,
yeah, but I think a year ago it looked crap. It sounds good now.
There's like PvE raids, there's like missions, there's a reputation-based system.
I'm pretty sure I still have a pirate hat somewhere. Pretty sure I still have a pirate hat somewhere and a cutlass and stuff. I'm getting
an eye patch we're playing.
Yeah, we're doing it.
An eye patch.
GGWP role plays.
Still with the fireworks, dude. Sorry.
Fireworks still?
They're doing fireworks.
It's the 8th of November.
But it's the same kind of idea with the Red Dead and the griefing. Like it's you go around and you steal other people's stuff. Like you go
exactly. Yeah. That's the fun part. Why would you not do that?
Yeah.
It's almost like we play a game where you murder people for fun.
Well, yeah.
Dead by Daylight. Whoa, there's the fireworks.
It's the fireworks.
There's
not a lot I can do about it.
Do you have?
It was just Guy Fawkes night.
Have you not seen V for Vendetta?
There was a guy called Guy Fawkes, and he decided he didn't like the government, so he took a load of gunpowder and he dug a tunnel under the government buildings, and he was going to blow it all up. But he got caught, and then they set him on fire.
Yeah.
So we celebrate every year. I don't know. It's very convoluted.
Yeah. We celebrate. We celebrate every year with more gunpowder succeeding in downing the man, because that's what we like in England. Down with the man.
I mean, he gave it a good shot.
He had a good go. Yeah, he had a good go. Do you not know the rhyme and everything? Remember the 5th of November, the gunpowder, treason, and plot? I can think of no reason the gunpowder treason should ever be forgot. No?
How do we look the same, but our culture is so different?
So we literally now, all you do is you light bonfires, you make, well, they don't really do it as much anymore, but you used to make like an effigy of Guy Fawkes, right? And you'd sit on the street when you were a kid with this little sort of like doll man, and you'd say penny for a guy, right? And they'd give you like sweets or money or whatever. And then you would chuck it on the bonfire on the 5th. So on the 5th of November, you chuck him on the bonfire and burn him.
So you build an effigy of a guy that tried to blow up Parliament, and then you put him on a fire.
Yeah.
Really, it's a very strange holiday.
It is.
Sounds
it is.
very odd.
But you also
But
get
it's
like
it's a good excuse to
food and
blow
stuff.
things up and make a fire.
Yeah, and then fireworks, obviously, because the gunpowder fireworks, and you have treacle toffee, which is goddamn delicious, and what else do you have on bonfire night? Chestnuts. You're supposed to have chestnuts on bonfire night as well.
You
Roasted
go,
chestnuts.
ooh.
Because they're his roasted nuts.
No, nothing to do with nuts. That's
No?
fireworks.
Oh, okay. But yeah,
Yeah,
go
you
look
do
it up.
lots- lots
Guy
of people
Fawkes.
in our
night.
rank. And there's always one idiot that records it on their phone. It's like, when are you ever going to watch that recording?
Yeah. So, video games. Do you play them? I do sometimes when I have the chance. No, we don't play video games anymore. But I mean, that is all topics we had planned and prepared for the day. So why don't we wrap up and say what we've got coming up on our channels and so on? Well, some of us will. Elliot, what have you got coming up on your channel this week?
I am basically I'm demoting Weeb Souls. Weeb Souls is fun, but a 3-day-a-week game it is not.
Yeah.
So Outer Worlds. Outer Worlds is going to be our next adventure. I was talking to you about this earlier. I'm going to hardcore roleplay it. So normally when I play Fallout games, I will like make the perfect build and I'll do this and that and I'll be like, I'll splay my skills into everything that I need. I'm going to like D&D like tabletop RPG this. So I'm going to come up with a character and then I'm going to like skill them and play them as if they are like
Is
a
it going to be
human
Deadpool
being.
Bob Ross?
Everyone's asked me to make Bob Ross again. Every character I've got Bob Ross in Weeb Souls. I've got Bob Ross in Stardew. Everything ends
I
up
don't
being
even
Bob
find
Ross.
the joke that funny. I just like that you get irritated by it, so I keep bringing it up.
I it's not like I'm irritated by it, but like I want to make. So I think my first character is going to be like a super socially awkward, no conversational skills, but super brainy guy. And just see how quickly it is before he gets murdered brutally because he makes everyone angry.
Fair enough. I mean,
But,
it sounds
like,
like
that's-
a hoot.
Exactly. Like I think it's going to be way more fun because
Yeah.
the game looks great,
Yeah.
but I think like min-maxing it is just going to be a bit like, oh well, because I've seen a lot of the conversation selections you can like really gain an advantage with it, which is why I'm making a character that is going to be bad at that. And then later on, if I play it again, I can be like, I'll be a really suave guy who's like maybe a serial killer or something, and I'll
I
just
like
try
that.
and like
I used to do that
secretly
with the
murder people.
old Fallouts. I made a guy on Fallout New Vegas who just went around and murdered people that he found across the wasteland. That was fun. And then like I used to hide their bodies in bathtubs and stuff. I'm not a crazy person, but that sounds great. Where can people find this hilarious content?
If you go to twitch.tv/blindsideuk, it's on my shirt here.
And your
Also,
nameplate.
if you go to Twitter and go to @blindside_UK, that's where you can see all the updates. I do updates on the Twitter for this. I do it for the
Updates.
Twitch stuff.
No, you do shit posts. Let's be honest. You do shit
and I do a
posts.
lot of shit posts.
Yeah.
To be fair, some of it's shit posts, some of it's actual interaction with people. I use my Twitter a lot.
Yeah.
So it is the best place to be like, what is this idiot thinking at the moment? And then it will just be like, it will be me going like, man, I wish burritos had way more meat in them. And then that's the tweets for the day.
You're buying the wrong burritos, dude. Taylor, do you have any plans to come back to streaming?
Yeah, we're gonna play Sea of Thieves.
When are we going to do this? And where can people find
Whenever
you?
want.
Whenever you want.
They'll probably find me on your YouTube channel.
Probably.
And yeah, co-streaming. No, I don't know when I'm coming back.
That's fine. You don't have to have a concrete plan. I mean, you're here on the podcast, so that is the main thing. That's the important thing.
Mhm.
But that's fine.
The
If
thing
people
is,
want to...
like, I sit down and I play, and I'm like, I only want to play for 2 hours, or I only have time for an hour and a half, and then I'm like, well, I'm not going to stream that.
This is why you should make YouTube content. Because you can do a video in an hour. But anyway...
I can't do a video in an hour.
Anyway, just in case she ever does come back to streaming, you can find her at twitch.tv/autarkic. If you can't spell that, we won't blame you, but it's down there on her nameplate. Just check it out. Yeah, I am basically doing most of my content on YouTube at the moment. A couple of people have asked me why I've been
Most?
doing... Yeah, if not all. I'm trying to see if I can wrangle maybe like a Sunday afternoon stream or something, but I don't want to say it because I don't want to promise it, and then people are like, oh, you said you were going to do a Sunday stream. But now I've said it. So, at the moment, I have decided that I can only really afford to do either Twitch or YouTube at the moment because I'm literally working 40 to 50 hours a week at my job because it's coming up to Christmas, Black Friday, the end of this month, Christmas. It's very, very busy. So I'm doing 40 to 50 hours a week, so I can't do both Twitch and YouTube. And I've decided that at the moment it makes way more sense to focus on YouTube because if I make a video on the Monday and you don't watch it on the Monday, you can still watch it on the Friday or whatever days you want. Whereas on Twitch, if I stream on the Monday and you miss it, that might be it for the rest of the week. So there's no content there. So it's a really hard thing because I built my whole entire audience on Twitch. But at the same time, I have to do what's best for my channels right now, and YouTube is it. It pains me to say. So pretty much all of my content is on YouTube at the moment. I'm doing sporadic live streams when I can because I can't guarantee when I can do them. So we will have another Death Stranding stream coming up at some time because I really enjoyed that. Podcast every week as usual. Yeah, keep an eye out on the channel. If you do want to go and find my Twitch channel just to drop it a follow for when I do eventually get back there, because I do 100% plan on going back. What are you pointing at? You can
Is that
find
where
me...
your nameplate is?
No, I'm below you to your right, left.
Wait, I'm at the top?
You're always at the top. Every
So is that
week.
empty?
That is empty.
Oh.
I don't understand. Like, you watch the podcast, right? Like,
Are we always in the same place?
called out. Yeah, 100%.
I honestly have never noticed that we were always in the same
No,
place.
me
Go and watch
either.
the last 10 episodes. We're always in the same page. But regardless, if you have found this YouTube channel, please like the video, subscribe to the channel for more gaming content, really grumpy opinions, cynicism, grumpy opinions, gaming, let's plays, grumpy opinions, and more grumpy opinions. If you want to drop my Twitch channel a follow, it's twitch.tv/TheGrumpyBrit. My Twitter is TheGrumpyBritTV. And everywhere I'm The Grumpy Brit or The Grumpy Brit TV, go find me. Go do all of those things. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.